research has shown that young boys are multi-orgasmic, just like girls. They have little erect penises, and people don't like to talk about it, but it's true. Children are sexual, but it's an innocent sexuality. It's a sexuality just because it feels good. They want to enjoy their bodies, and so you have like little multi-orgasmic experiences. But of course, when we get young, and that's one of the reasons that in intimate relationships where you really love each other, it's so hard to keep the desire high. Because from a very young age, when you were sexual with around the people you were, like you were a child, you had like in the we all have a phase that we're gonna explore this area. They call it the genital phase. It's well known in psychology. We get punished, we get shamed. You can't do that. It's bad. So our body, our neurology learns when you love somebody, when you're very close to somebody, you sex is not allowed. That's why a lot of people, when they come really closer and closer, and one of the reasons, a lot of people, when they really go from just dating to a full-blown living together relationship, sharing everything we have, sex falls away because your neurology is like, oh, it's like family. I can't do it anymore. But
Huh.
you keep your desire high for other people.
Mm.
And so yeah, there's a whole, so that's a lot of my work is also around that, how you can avoid this and how you can re-sexualize love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really good, because a lot of times, you go through like the honeymoon stage where you're all excited about the person and then they move in and then it like you go, I've been in very many long-term relationships where like it's super exciting and then you go through like almost like a flat line in the relationship where like it's
Mm.
not as exciting, you like become like roommates, and it's interesting that you brought that up. So I have a question about that. So how do people
Mm.
who are in long term relationships spice up their sex lives? Like, what are your suggestions?
First thing, do something with friends of your own gender.
Mm.
Like we can look back like 100 years ago, like we were very separate. Men were working, we were home, and then literally what happened was then the men went on the bar. I don't say that was a great situation, and we would have like tea parties as extreme, of course, as an example. It's like a character. But what happened is you get a natural polarization when men go with men and do manly things. They have a support system, they have a deep intimacy. Actually, it goes very deep because there's no sexual agenda. So a lot of men are like nice guys, they try to give because they want to get. Now with men, all the men, they don't need nothing, so they can just chill and be together and get another, so they don't have to be defined by the woman. They have a definition by themselves by hanging out with other men or women, like with other friends, their own friends. So one of the keys to long-lasting desire is to keep your separateness. But that's very hard these days because these days our partner has to fulfill all roles. Has to be our best friends, has to be our confidant, the co-parent. We perhaps run a business together, and then it has to be something that really sexually excites us.
Hmm.
That's very hard. That's a lot of responsibility on one person.
Yeah, it is a lot. Hmm.
So what I say is, if you have this from an ideal way, in an ideal way, say you're in a situation where you both care about each other and you get really close, really intimate. That's one situation. Well, then it's very important to create some separation. It will feel difficult. What people do is the following. Most people, we have the view of an intimacy like this. I'm beer, you're wine. I do some beer with some wine with your beer. You do some beer with your wine. And you go on and on until you have like this tasteless mixture that nobody wants to drink us us. But then the problem is the sexual desire falls away because you have like David Snarch is one of the legends in relationship therapy
Freezing up
that makes the
again.
link between
I don't know.
sex therapy
There we go.
and relationship therapy. So here you feel like you're here, you disconnect. Why you disconnect from yourself? You lost yourself. And so you have a cross point, a point that is almost inevitably in almost every normal relationship, that is that you will lose desire. Because you have to choose between yourself, staying yourself,
Mm-hmm.
or giving your partner what you want. So then the goal is to, okay, how can we stand on our own two feet again? Which is scary because you've been leaning on each other. But what the nice thing is, once you'll be able to do that, aha, then being together becomes a choice. You can feel chosen again. Then it's not so, uh, then you can't take it for granted anymore because they can walk away when they don't lean on you. But you will feel more free. There's not a heavy weight on you. There's much less responsibility. So you're both there, and so you can choose to go together.